Hi guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel, and today's video is we will be talking about on how to successfully open a restaurant. This video will tell you everything you need to know before you open a restaurant. Actually guys, this topic is very personal to me. I'm really very excited to talk about this because I spent most of my career and personal experience in restaurant business. I worked in a restaurant for 14 years, from service staff to a higher position that allowed me to manage a different department over the years when it comes to restaurant business. And my first business is a restaurant cafe that I opened 4 years ago. So in this video guys, I'm going to talk about on how I successfully opened my own restaurant 4 years ago. So I hope you find very important points before you decide to open a restaurant and what I do that I have successfully opened my restaurant. Growing up, I really like cooking food guys. In the mountains, I always like experience cooking food. My mom is a very good cook. She owns a cafeteria that sells food to the employee near where we live. And also, before I opened my restaurant guys, I went to a short-term culinary course. I educate myself more on what I've learned because I been working in a restaurant for a long time, but most of my experience is how to run it. But I didn't really much more have a very formal study on how to do the food, like how to cook, how to bake. So I went to a culinary course before I resigned and before I opened my restaurant to fully equip myself with knowledge and skills for me to be able to successfully open my restaurant. The first step guys to successfully open a restaurant is to have a clear concept of what kind of restaurant you are going to open. So in my case guys, since my expertise, my study in culinary are more on gourmet food like cakes and pastries, pastas, sandwiches, and I really love coffee. I can't go on my day without coffee. So the concept of the restaurant that I open is a restaurant cafe. So I want to show you some of the photos of how my restaurant looks like. Along with our restaurant concept guys is the kind of food that we are going to serve that will identify a restaurant concept. And in my case, since my restaurant concept is a restaurant cafe, most of the food that I am serving in my restaurants are comfort food, guilty pleasures food like cakes and pastries, gourmet salads and pastas. I also serve a different kind of sandwiches, and I also serve pizza. And mostly of my beverages are coffee-based beverages. I like cafe latte, those kind of food. So if you wanna know what kind of food that I was serving in my restaurant, I want to show you some of the pictures of the food that I was serving in my restaurant. Along with your restaurant concept guys is your restaurant name. So your restaurant name must have something to do with the kind of food and the concept of your restaurant. So in my case guys, the name of my restaurant is Coffee and Comfort Cafe. Coffee because most of my beverages are coffee based, and Comfort Cafe, comfort because most of the food that I am serving are gourmet kind of food. So I want people to recognize based on my restaurant name that when they come to my shop, they find comfort, they find a relaxation when they get to the shop. That's why I name my shop Coffee and Comfort Cafe, because it has something to do with the kind of service and food that I am serving. And lastly, on our restaurant concept is our decorations and collateral. So our decorations and collateral of our restaurant is based on the food that we are serving. So in my case, because it's Coffee and Comfort Cafe, I have these decorations of like a woman drinking coffee and having relaxation, some toads to thunder that has something to do with comfort of where they are, like while they are sitting, they can read some of the thoughts of ponder around the walls of my restaurant. So those were my restaurant decorations in Collateral based on my restaurant name and my concept. So the third step, guys, after you already have a clear concept and a menu, is to have a business plan. Don't go on opening your restaurant, guys, without a business plan, because a business plan will identify now on the next steps of how much money do you need in your restaurant, what kind of target market that your restaurant needed, the geographic location of your business, and your business mission or vision, like what are your purpose in your business. So you have to make a business plan before going on to the next steps of opening a restaurant. The fourth step, guys, is to obtain funding. Now that you know how much capital you need based on your business plan, you have to assess yourself if you could afford it. How much asset do you have? How much money do you save that you are going to invest in your business? Is it enough for you to open your business? Because, guys, there are lots of businesses that was not able to make it. They're only up to a construction stage, but they were not able to go on because they ran out of capital, and we don't want that to happen. So in my case, guys, because I was a single proprietorship, I opened my business all by myself. I don't have partners, so I assess myself very well if I could afford to open it. Because, guys, after you assessing yourself, you might consider having an investors, or you might consider getting a business loan. So it's up to you based on your self-assessment if you could afford to open it. The next step, guys, is to choose your location. You have to be very careful on this step because lots of businesses fail because of bad location. Just because you already have the capital, the menu, and the concept, you just rush to open your business. So you have to choose a very good location. And in choosing a very good location, it should be accessible and visible, meaning madaling hanapin at madaling makita. Second is the demographics around your business. Is the people or the businesses around you are your target market. Third is the labor cost. Are you can be able to afford to pay for the minimum wages of the employee that you are going to hire based on the location of your business. And fourth is your competitors. How far are you from your next competitors? You don't want to fight over competitors next to the block where you are. So you have to have a reasonable distance among your competitors. Then the next step, guys, is to get your permit and licenses. This is very important that you have to register your business in the government in order for you to fully extend and to protect your investment of your business if you registered your business in the government. Actually, guys, I have a separate video explaining on how you are going to obtain permits and licenses for your business. If you are interested to know how to do the steps, I have a different video that talks about getting a permit and licenses in the field. The next step, guys, is finding equipment, furniture, and supplies for your restaurant. So in my case, guys, some of my equipment and furnitures are second-hand. Because I'm just a single proprietorship, this is based on the capital that I have. But make sure, guys, that when you buy a second-hand equipment, that it is durable, that you don't have to spend money to hire for a maintenance because your equipment broke every now and then, especially if it's a main equipment of your restaurant. But because for me, I only have a very limited capital, so I consider buying second-hand. So you might find businesses that are already closed, but their equipment or their furniture still looks good and durable, so you might consider buying this, guys. You will save lots of money by doing this. You don't need to make everything as a brand new for your restaurant, but you can't afford to buy it, so you have to consider might be leasing or buying a new one. And other than that, guys, is to find a food supply. So you have to have a reliable supplier of your food supplies, because, guys, you don't want to change the quality of your food every now and then because you have to buy a different kind of brand for your supplies. Food, guys, is very crucial. Different brand have something to do with the taste of your food. So and the food cost depends upon your supply. So if you change suppliers every now and then because you don't have a reliable suppliers, it will actually affect your food cost and your capital. So you have to find the a very reasonable suppliers, a reliable suppliers that can supply you the quality of food supplies that you want in your restaurant. So before you go on opening your restaurant, you must have find first reliable suppliers that could supply you. The next step, guys, is the design and layout of your restaurant. So in my case, guys, in my restaurant, because I am a single proprietorship and my capital is limited, I'm the one who design and lay out my restaurant. So I'll just draw what I want for my restaurant, and I just hire a carpenter to construct it, to do the renovation. But I'm the one who make the layout and design for it, because it's depend upon on you guys on how much capital that you have. So if you have only limited capital, so you might be considering doing it yourself, doing the design and layout. But if you have enough capital to hire for an architect to do it, you can do it, and it's up to you on based on your capital. But on my case, because I'm a single proprietorship, I do my own design and layout of my restaurant. The next step, guys, is hiring a restaurant staff. So in hiring your restaurant staff, guys, you have to consider the one that has already have a good experience in running a restaurant, because this is your first restaurant. You have to hire a right staff, because if you are not going to hire a right staff, guys, you have to hire more staff that actually will have a very big impact in your capital and your operating costs. So you have to hire a right staff that already have an experience in running this kind of business that you are going to open. The next step, guys, is to advertise your restaurant. So before I open my restaurant, before my actual soft opening, I advertise my restaurant to Facebook. So I let people know that that a new restaurant is coming to town. So there are actually lots of tools, guys, to advertise your restaurant. Number one is social media, which is a very good place to advertise your restaurant for free. Or you might consider advertising your restaurant in a local ad newspaper. It depends upon if you have the budget. Or you might be consider having an account on like a food listing in your local area, like Yelp, if you wanna have your restaurant to be known before they are started, before they're open. So you have to let people know that you are going to have a restaurant with this concept before you are actually opening. And the next step, guys, is to host soft opening. Actually, guys, before you make a general opening, like a grand opening of your restaurant, you have to have a soft opening. Soft opening, guys, will help you introduce your business to a different group of people, and it will let you analyze onto what final food that you are going to serve, and what part of the day that your business is what we call this as your business is in peak hours. So you might be consider serving half of your menu first to a certain people, or you might consider opening on a certain hour in your soft opening. You might consider opening in breakfast, lunch, or dinner menu. So it's up to you on how you are going to do with your soft opening. And also in your soft opening, you have to invite your family and friends so that they can give you suggestions or comments with regards to your business. So one of the best way, guys, for soft opening is to invite your neighboring residents or your neighboring business. So these are your target market, guys. You have to like set a day to invite these people, because, guys, if they like your food, if they like your service, they might invite their colleagues, their family members to go to your business. This is a very good way to introduce your business to your target market, because the people around you, the neighboring residents, the neighboring business or tenants around your restaurant are your target market also. So you might be consider having a soft opening, inviting these people. So these are the steps, guys, on successfully opening your restaurant. Hopefully this video will help you in your journey to become a restaurant owner. I am very happy that that one day you are going to go back to this video and tell me how successfully you open your business after watching this video. If you are interested guys in my other videos with regards to restaurant and restaurant operation, you can subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos. I actually have a very good videos guys during my restaurant operation when I am already opening my restaurant, when I'm already operating my restaurant, because my journey as a restaurant business owner actually has lies on this experience. So I wanted to share to all of you guys on what happened after I opened my restaurant. So if you are interested on this other video, you can subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you for watching and see you on my next video.